Happy Monday, co-creators, and welcome to another edition of Teena Sessions, 365 inspirational quotes with me, your life coach, Teena Jones. Well, how's everyone doing on this lovely Monday afternoon? As you can see, I am back home, and it was a wonderful weekend. I just arrived back today. So I'm so happy and delighted to be with you on day 85. Wow, we're almost 90 days in with Teena Sessions. And I'm so happy and delighted you guys have taken this journey with me. Whether you're new or you're one of my loyal viewers, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me, emailing me, and participating in this life-changing, transformational, one-year commitment that we are all making. All right? Well, the quote of the day, since it's Monday, we talk about health, we talk about healing of the body, the mind, and the spirit. So this Monday is no different. Today's quote is by Bernard Meltzer, and it is, "When you forgive, you in no way change the past, but you sure do change the future." I love that quote. We're going to talk about forgiving. Forgiving others is essential to your spiritual growth and to your healing. And so I have a few steps that I want to jump into right now, since we really don't have a lot of time, so that you can help yourself in this quest to take yourself out of this internal prison, if you will. There's a saying, an old Chinese saying, that when you have unforgiveness and resentment, you might as well dig two graves, because you can't get away. You can't live a empowered, victorious life holding on to resentment, anger, unforgiveness, and grudges. It just can't happen. The two cannot coexist. And so I want to give you some steps to help you kind of set yourself free from that. Many of you, if you're dealing with some type of health issue, that's the first thing that I would ask a client that came to see me is there anyone you need to forgive? Who has, or even if it includes yourself, who in your mind has done something to you that's been unfair to you or has betrayed you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And we get a list together. And so once we determine that, you'll be so surprised. And many people may not believe the power of forgiveness, but there is indeed power. There are people, there are studies that have shown that once you release, because that's stress on the body and on the spirit. And when you are dealing with any type of illness, especially a critical terminal illness, the last thing you need is unnecessary stress. And holding on to resentment, anger, and unforgiveness is unnecessary. Okay? So let me give you some steps to help you with this task so that you can finally set yourself free. All right? The first thing is move on to the next act. If you look at life as different acts, like in a stage play, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, oftentimes we get stuck when we have forgiveness issues. We're stuck on an old story, something that may have happened to us a year ago, a day ago, an hour ago, maybe even 10 years ago. And we replay it over and over again, something that happened, of course, in the past. And so the first step of moving on to the next step is you've got to let it go. You've got to stop replaying that story over and over again. It happened. There were words said. And now most likely you guys are not speaking. And so the first thing is you've got to be willing to let it go. Not condoning a person's behavior. Not saying, okay, what they did was right. What we're doing here is trying to set yourself free. You see, this is about your health and your healing. And so replaying that story over and over in your mind hurts you and not the other person. Okay? The second step is reconnect to spirit. You know, in every forum that I do, we have to reconnect to spirit in some way, whether it's through meditation or through prayer. Ask God to help you unleash this toxic thing that's inside of you. Sometimes we need a higher power because the ego can hold on so strong because we want to be right. We want to say, but you don't know what they did. Like, oh my God, you just have no idea. They did this and this and this and it's unforgivable. Well, that's not true. No matter what someone has done, it can be forgivable. Remember, forgiveness is about you and it's not about the other person. It's about setting yourself free. So reconnecting the spirit can help you, where you have resentment, turn that resentment into compassion. And that's what you want at the end of the day. Okay. And then 3, switch the focus from blaming others to understanding yourself. I think I've shared this before on Teena sessions, and I'm probably going to share it again many times throughout the rest of the year. And that is oftentimes when something has happened, I always look at my reaction. Your reaction is the only thing that is real. That's a quote by Wayne Dyer. And when you actually take the time to look at that and go, if my reaction's on thing real, then I can't go and justify my reaction. I can't say, well, I did this because of that. Only highlight your reaction and how you responded to the situation, to the circumstance, to the person. And then said, could I have handled that better? Oftentimes those situations come up to show us what's inside of you, And once you take a look and say, I know I could have handled that differently, or I could have reacted from a different way. Because whether your ego wants you to know it or not, there are so many different ways that you could handle the same situation. There are many people that wouldn't have done it the way you've done it. And that's just that simple. It doesn't matter if you caught your woman cheating, your man cheating. That's happened to millions of people, and they all don't react the same way. Okay, that's the news. I know your ego say, oh no, everybody would get upset. Everybody would act a fool. Everybody would stab him to death, but it's simply not true. There are so many wonderful ways that you can react to a so-called, unquote, unquote, bad situation. And so this is the step where you can investigate you. Let me see what's inside of me. And then once you do that, that'll help because you're like, I'm not going to pay attention to that. Remember, we're not going to look at blaming and what they did. Only highlight your reaction and then work on that thing. I've done that in my own life. I've said, God, I didn't like the way I reacted. I could have handled that differently. It doesn't take all the drama to get to the resolution. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to leave that person, if you're going to stop dealing with them, then you don't need the drama. I'm just going to stop dealing with you. It's not necessary to go through all the anger and all those steps that normally a lot of us go through. And so understanding and not blaming the other person and looking at your own reactions is so essential. And please do not skip that step. It is essential to the forgiveness process. Okay? All right. And we're doing good with time. Letting go of the resentment. We kind of talked about that earlier, about creating a new story. Whenever you replay it, you say, try to look at it from all perspectives, all sides, and know that, okay, I know I could have done something a little different. They may have done something a little different, but I want peace. Remember, at the end of the day, everybody wants peace of mind. We think, that person apologizing is going to bring us peace, but we've got to already set ourselves free. We cannot hold ourselves hostage waiting on someone else to give us our freedom. And remember, unforgiveness is a like a prison, like that's a sickness. That's holding yourself in some kind of self-imprisoned jail. You got to set yourself free. And you can't wait for another person to do it. You're giving away your power if you're waiting on that person to make the move. You've got to say, if you feel, once you've done these steps, and if you feel like, okay, you know what, I want to reach out to this person, by all means do it. Please don't let your ego talk you out of it. If you feel it, not I should, I want to. If you feel it in your heart, I want to reach out to this person. Once you've done these steps, then do it. You may not even need to apologize. Just reach out and say, hey, how you doing? And that is a form of a truce, if you will. Okay? So, 2 more steps. Be kind instead of right. That's one of the things we talked about. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And so being happy and being kind, once again, that brings you peace of mind. That's what you've got to think. You've got to create a new story for yourself and realize, okay, there are people that are in my life. Remember the play that we talked about earlier, to help me realize what's inside of me. And so I'm glad that person said that. I'm glad this person said this because it helped me to know what's inside of me that I need to heal. See, when you transform it that way, then the situation change. You start seeing them as a blessing and not a curse. You see, all these things are beautiful if you change your perception. And that's what I am encouraging you to do. Change your perception and get to the next level. You do not want resentment and unforgiveness to block you from healing, to block you from abundance, to block you from your good. Okay? All right. And then step 6, stop looking for ways to be offended. This is really big because oftentimes, there are so many things people do. People curse, people say foul things, some people do foul things. And if I, or you, if we waste our time saying, I'm going to be offended, you're going to be offended forever because people are going to be people, And once again, you can't give away your power by that. If you know it has nothing to do with you, no matter if they even said my name, you don't know me, And so whatever you're saying is really about you, has nothing to do with me. And it's just that simple. And my goal every day is to not be offended. I really, that is the goal. I can't afford to have these pet peeves, if you will, because surely there are people out there that's willing to push that button. And I will spend the rest of my days upset, offended, and bothered. So I encourage each and every one of you to set the intention of not being offended, and then work on that thing if you are offended. If someone says something offhanded to you and it brought out something inside of you, go to spirit, pray about that thing so you can have a spiritual surgical thing removed from you. Once again, all these people and circumstances are designed to show you what is inside of you. It's not there to hurt you. You want to remove these things. Many of you have prayed the prayer, God, whatever is inside of me that's blocking me from my soulmate, please remove it. Well, what do you think is happening? When situations come, he's trying to help you remove it. But you've got to turn your eye on you instead of what you think is offending you. Okay? All right. And finally, don't live in the past. Don't live there. Be in the present moment. This is where your power is. The power of now is in the present moment. This is where you are breathing. This is where you are enjoying, the sun, the trees, your loved ones, your family, where you're laughing hard. Take every breath and be grateful for it, and get out of the past. Take your mind out of that. Be fully present. Take nice deep breaths. Meditate. And you will find there's so much beauty in right now, you don't even need to go to the past. Okay? How does that sound? I hope it sounds good. The affirmation of the day is today, I'm choosing to forgive. That's it. Today, I'm choosing to forgive. Some of you may have a list of people you need to forgive. Write them down. Do the burning bowl ceremony that we talked about at the beginning of the year and set yourself free once and for all. All right? All right. Well, it's time for the guided meditation. So go ahead and close your eyes. Get into your wonderful positions, whatever you need to do. Get your headphones and let's get started. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale, release, and relax. Once again, take a nice deep breath all the way in. Release, relax, and let go. I'm allowing the past, all the past negativity is now removed out of my mind, my body, and my spirit. I'm choosing to forgive for me. And as I let go and let God, I feel so much freedom. I am thankful for this present moment. because this is where my power exists. I am powerful, I am beautiful, and I am free. Thank you, God, for setting me free. Thank you for releasing this burden off of me. All the blocks are now lifted. All the obstacles are now removed. And now I'm making room for the miracle that God has for me. And so it is. Thank you all. I love each and every one of you. Have a great, great, great evening. Bye-bye.